In this demonstration, we're going to look at how to post contra entries in Sage Accounts. If you're not familiar with this term, it's basically where you have a customer who is also one of your suppliers, and it's the process of offsetting the outstanding balances on the two accounts. So for example, you might have an outstanding customer balance of £60 and an outstanding supplier balance of £100. In this situation, you post a contra for the value of the lowest balance, which would leave a balance for the difference against the supplier. This situation would be common where you source the materials and then sell them to a subcontractor who then provides a manufacturing service to you. There are a number of ways to post contra entries in Sage Accounts. However, the options available depend upon the software that you're running and also your VAT scheme. There are a couple of manual methods that you can use to post contra entries. However, the one we're going to look at is the customer receipt and supplier payment method. We've chosen this method as it can be used on all levels of the software and works for all VAT schemes. The first step is to create a contra entries bank account. So we go into bank accounts and then click new, enter a number. So I'm going to give it the number 1211, and you must give it a number so that it fits in within your chart of accounts so that it's picked up automatically. So 1211, call it contra entries, and then I don't need to enter anything else. I don't need to choose an account type. I'll just accept all the other defaults, click save, and that's it done. So close, and there it is on the list. We're now going to post a customer receipt for the contra value. So make sure you've got the contra entries bank account selected, and then from the toolbar click customer receipt, select the customer account, so A1 Manufacturing in my example. It shows us there's an invoice outstanding for £60. Now that's the contra value, it's the lowest of the two balances between the customer and the supplier, so £60. So we're going to pay this transaction in full, and what we'll also do before we save it is enter the reference of contra. And the reason we do that is so we can easily identify that on the customer's activity. So everything else is right. We save the transaction, close out of the customer receipt screen, and what we'll see at this stage is that the contra entries bank account has a positive balance for the contra value. To complete the contra entry, we now need to post a supplier payment. So with the contra entries bank account selected, go into supplier payment, choose the supplier, so A1 Manufacturing in this example, click OK. There's one outstanding invoice. This time it's for £100, but remember the contra value is the lower value between the customer and the supplier, which in our example is £60. So in the payment column against the invoice we type in £60. Now you should really make sure that you post both the customer receipt and the supplier payment on the same date so that they cancel each other out correctly on your reports. Also, similar to what we did for the customer, in the check number enter contra, just so that we can easily identify that transaction on the supplier activity. Once we've done that, click save, close out of the supplier payment window, and that's it complete. You double check that you've done everything correctly, is your contra entries bank account should be back to zero, and if you check the customer balance, you see that's reduced back to zero, and also our supplier balance, we've now got £40 outstanding, and we would just pay that balance in the normal way.